What's going on, guys? Abraxas here. Today we have a recap of the last Masters tournament in Poland, which was the team tournament in Warsaw, consisting teams of 4. This tournament was part of the EML. And in the first words, I want to congratulate the team Russia for winning the tournament. And today we'll talk about their lists a bit and we'll see what they brought. So they actually had a pretty hard time. They played against 3 very decent teams here. They played against the Hardcore Riders, they played against the Nemesis, and they played against Underdogs. So we'll look at the results of the Russia players versus those teams in particular, because the other matchups don't matter that much. So let's start with the first list. And the first list is Wars of Dark Gods, brought by Kirill. I have to say this is a pretty interesting list. And the interesting thing is that he actually paid for 2 Omnius gateways. He has mostly 3 big units, the Warriors unit, the Chosen Knights, and the Warrior Knights unit. Both the Warriors and Warrior Knights have greed, and those units utilize the teleporting capabilities of the Helmo pretty well. The other interesting thing is that he has 2 heroes on Dark Chariots, the Lord and the Sorcerer from the Alchemy. The Lord is the Sloth Lord, so it's really hard to kill him when he doesn't move much, and teleporting the unit of chariots, if they combine into one, is very interesting as well. So let's look at his results. He played against Calafior with Demon Legions and he scored 16. He played against Dembek with Kingdom of Aquitaine and scored 11. And he played against Wapamat with Ogre Kingdoms and scored 16. Although this last result is a bit biased because Wapamat was playing aggressively because of the other team results. So in fact this result should be around 13 to 14 to Kirill. But those are definitely the best results, and against 3 very skilled Polish players. So I guess the Helmo and the teleporting abilities are still on top, and it's still really hard to leave your home without them if you're playing Warriors of the Dark Gods. Let's move to the second list. And this is a list from Sergey. This is a pretty standard Empire list with Imperial Guard combination with a lot of shooting infantry in core. So this is something more in line with what Denmark brought to the EDC this year. This is a pretty standard list, so I don't think there is much to talk about. So his results were as you could predict from the Empire player. This was 10 against Infernal Dwarves, 11 against Beast Herds, and 10 against Dwarves. So I guess this list's main goal here was to play defensively, not lose any points, get the 10-10s, and well, it worked out perfectly. So nothing to say bad about this list. I think this is a very important piece of the team tournaments, to have a list that will be able to score 10-10 against anyone, and this list is a pretty good showcase of that. Let's move to the third list, which is pretty standard for nowadays, the Vermin Demons. Well, there are everyone's favorites, which is the Vermin Demon, the Pendulum, and 2 Dreadmills, and the rest is pretty much not very important, is it? Well, he has catapults, he has some swarms. That's pretty standard stuff. So nothing surprising here. And his scores, he played against Furion with Highborn Elves and scored 5. Then he scored 12 against Demon Legions. And then he scored 20 in the last battle against Shites with the Vampires. And this was actually the game that changed the outcome of the whole tournament, in my opinion. And this was mostly because of the situation presented in the picture below. I'm not sure if there were rat swarms on the right side of the rats or something else, but it didn't matter. So in the end it came down to that if your unit gets charged and would have to align in this exact way as the wolves are here, then the Pendulum unit is free to charge, even though before the align it was chaffed. So Konstantin perfectly utilizes that and managed to charge the unit with the vampires. Fortunately for him, with 3 attacks from the top of the Pendulum, he managed to kill the general with the 4-up armor, 4-up ward, and the toughness 5. But it could happen, and he well deserved it, because in fact the position of wolves was really bad. And if you just change the wheel a bit so that both units are on the front, then it wouldn't be an issue. And I guess the game would have ended in something like 10-10, as I've observed it and as I've talked to the players. So this was definitely the game-breaking moment of the tournament, because with the result of 10-10, I think the Russian team would end on the second or third place. So definitely Konstantin is the hero, in my opinion, for the team of the Russia. And last but not least, the unkillable Undying Dynasties. This is actually the most intriguing list here, I would say, because it deviates pretty hard from the standard one, because it has an additional Tom Harbinger BSB on the chariot, and he has skeleton chariots but without scoring. This has its upside and downside. Basically, the battle standard allows you to play more safely. The other thing that is pretty weird are halberds and reapers. Usually you see paired weapons here, but as Undying Dynasties, you usually suffer from armies that have a lot of armor. Then maybe this is a call to answer that a bit better. Also, you basically only have 3 main units, so chariots, cataphracts and reapers, and then you have smaller units. What is interesting again is that both archers and skeletons have the banner of Relentless Company. That is a multiple purpose banner. First, you can chaff with the thing like archers. It's 180 points, and it's not that much more expensive than the unit of skeleton scouts. And they are scoring. They can chaff with the Relentless Company. And with both Relentless Company banners, you are much better with the ranges on the spells, because you can very often pop the banner and ride to some random spot. Also, there is this very standard Nomarch that has the crown of the Pharaohs this time instead of being on the chariot. I generally does not agree with that. I very much prefer my Nomarch to be on the chariot, just to add one more model to the unit, especially because you practically cannot support any other unit in this army. Like the cataphracts, the reapers, the archers cannot take the crown of the Pharaohs buff. But I've seen some people choose it to be safer and to always make sure that the chariots will have the lethal strikes and additional weapon skill. And if you want to have a safer Nomarch, then that's probably a good call. So let's take a look at his results. So he took a 10-10 against Warriors of Dark Gods. He took 15 against Vampires. And then he scored 4 against Dread Elves with the Dragon. But I think that it's generally pretty hard for the Undying Dynasties to play against Dragon. Especially Undying Dynasties without Shaptis. With the Shapti archers you have much more threats to deal with the Dragon, and without them it's really hard, because Dragon not only can put a lot of damage and crumble your units pretty fast if he gets a decent combo charge. Also, in Dread Elves especially, you get a lot of shots and a lot of magic that can basically threaten any of your units. I think Like played 2 times against Undying Dynasties like this on this tournament, and I think in both cases he managed to kill the chariots with the shooting and magic, which doesn't seem that possible, but apparently Dread Elves can do a lot of impossible stuff. So again, guys, I wanted to congratulate guys from Team Russia for winning this tournament. I hope they will visit us in a year and try to win it again. I think this is the first time that foreign team won the team tournament in Poland, which is an achievement of itself. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next one. Cheers!